everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make this quick. So, when I was 13 years old, I was in a relationship with my mom's ex-husband. He was 27 years old. I was 13 years old. And yeah, now that I have your attention, trigger warning, there's a lot of sexual assault, sexual assault involved in this, domestic violence, and abuse. All of the abuses. Anyway, it wasn't actually a consensual relationship. He was molesting me for 3 years, and at around year 2, that's when he said that I was his wife and that I cannot tell my mom anything that's going on because I was basically his side chick and she would have been mad at me for making him cheat on her with me. I was going to a magnet school in Los Angeles, California, and I don't remember the name of the school because my brain blocks out a lot of things that it just doesn't want to remember. Not sure why that happens, but it does. But I was going there for all of my 8th grade year. So I had to take 2 buses to get to school and I had to take 2 buses to get home, sometimes 3 if the bus would take a long time. He was a very timely person, so he would force me to be on time even though I'm taking public transportation. And if I was late if I was late by 1 minute, then I would get in trouble, and he would either physically abuse me or sexually assault me as punishment. So this is about one of the worst days of my life, and this is just like the preface for what makes it the worst day of my life. And yeah, and excuse me, I smile when I get uncomfortable, so I'm not like reminiscing or nothing. It's just like I'm a bit uncomfortable, but I would like to get this out. So I was 13 when this happened. I went to school regular like that. Before going to school that day, he was very adamant in me not coming home late. He said, "Do not come home late." And I said, "Okay, I will not come home late. I have no intention of doing that." However, public transportation had the intention of doing that. And now that I think about it, I feel like he knew because there was construction around my school and I just wasn't paying attention to it. All I know is I need to get on this bus at 3:32 and be home by it was like 4:12. Not 4:12. It was like whatever. I needed to be home at the time that I need to be home. So anyway, I dashed to the bus stop, waiting 3:32. That's the bus supposed to be there. The bus was not there. The bus didn't get there until around like 3:55. And I'm just terrified. I'm standing there so impatiently. I'm like, should I just run to the next bus stop? Should I, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I didn't know what to do. So I just stood there, of course. Finally got on the bus, and the bus, since that bus was late, I'm on a different bus, not my regular bus, because that bus was late. So now I'm on a later bus for my next one. I get on that bus. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose it. He's gonna lose it on me. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I was terrified, and all I could think about is, oh my gosh, I hope he's not standing at the bus stop today, because that's what he would do sometimes. Just stand at the bus stop and pick his wife up from the bus stop because he's just such a good man, right? So the bus is like approaching my stop, and I'm looking out the window and I'm like, he's not right there. Thank God. I have like at least 2 to 3 minutes to myself so that I can prep for whatever I'm about to walk into the house for. Incorrect. He was right there. He was hiding in between like the alleyway of the bus stop and the like building that was right there. Grabbed me by the back of my neck, and like I didn't know it was him. I thought it was a stranger, and I just look up and it's him, and I was like, oh my God. No peace, no peace. So anyway, he grabbed my neck and it hurt really, really bad. And I'm like looking around at all these people. He was 27 years old at the time, and he was 6'3". I was small. I was very small, like skinny. Like he kept all of us skinny, me and my siblings, my mother. He kept all of us skinny and small and frail so that we would not fight him back. Anyway, I was like super small compared to him. He grabbed back my neck, and then I'm just like, oh my God, this hurts so bad, but I'm not saying anything because I'm not trying to cause a scene, because then that would get me beat up even worse when we got home. And he was like, where have you been? What was you doing? You was with some nigga, huh? You was with some nigga. You was over there cheating on me? Right. I was cheating. Anyway, I was like, no, the bus was late. And I'm like looking around for people to like, cooperate my story, but that was a whole different bus, so they wouldn't even know that the bus was late. They were probably on their regular bus. So I'm like pleading, and I'm like, bro, no, like, no. I didn't say bro, but like, I was like, no, that's not what happened. So we're still waiting for the light to turn green, for us to walk. He takes his hand off the back of my neck, and I'm like, oh, thank God. I thought maybe it'll be worse when we go home. He's not gonna do anything in front of people. Incorrect. He smacked me so hard in my mouth, that my tooth went into my bottom lip. I had like a knot in my lip now from that, and it was like just a bunch of blood. And I was like looking around, like I'm like looking, and nobody helped me. Nobody said anything. And then all he said was, you think somebody's gonna help you? Look, the light is green, let's go. So we cross the street. I'm like just bleeding. All these other grown adults, women. I remember it was a Hispanic woman that was right there, and I don't know, I just thought like she would help because she was a woman. I don't know what my thought process was with that. I just thought she was gonna help me, and nobody helped me. And that was that. So we were walking to the house. On our walk to the house, he was like saying, he just kept saying over and over again, what were you doing, use with that nigga, use with that little nigga you like. Oh, I forgot to say, before this, he was basically saying, oh, I know like you're young and you probably will like men your age, so no, you will probably like boys your age. I just want to remind you, like, they only want one thing, but you can be honest with me and tell me if you like anyone at your school, and I'll help you talk to them if you want. And this was like a week or so before this incident, and I was being so stupid, so dumb. I really thought he was coming from like a father point of view. I hate to say that, but I thought that's what it was. And so I told him, oh yeah, there's this one boy that I like. I think he's like really cute and he's super nice to me, and I help him in class and he helps me sometimes, and blah blah blah. When I told him, he didn't react in any kind of way, but that was the reaction to me telling him that. So he said, okay, you must have been staying after school with that little boy, huh? You must have been staying after school. Didn't I tell you they only want one thing? And this goes into how this became the worst day of my life. Now it might get a little confusing because, again, like, my brain is blotchy, but from the things that I do remember, this is what happened. And I know it's going to sound absolutely unbelievable, but I just want to say, living with and living under someone who is a narcissist and who can manipulate, and if you guys met this man, you would think I'm lying. But this is my truth, so yeah. Anyway, we finally get into the house, and he's like, go in the room, I'm about to go get the belt. I don't even know why he ever got the belt anyway. He never actually, like, it was very rare that he used the belt. It was either he was going to rape me, or he was going to like do something in some sexual way that absolutely demolished me, like just hurt, like for no reason. So he went into his room, and I went into my room, and you guys are probably like, where's your mom during all this? She was at work. She was working to pay every single bill in the house, to feed all of us, even though he would like sabotage the food in some kind of way. Anyway, she wasn't at home. She was working. So I'm sitting on the bed. He finally goes in the room. What the fuck are you sitting down for? So I stand up, because what else would I have been doing? You told me to go in the room. I didn't know you wanted me to stand up the whole time. And he did bring the belt, but it didn't make sense for him to bring the belt because he had his paddle in there, and it was like a wooden paddle. And he said, okay, so we're gonna go through this. You need to let me know what you were just doing and why it took you that long to get home. I went through the whole bus thing again. I said it was the bus. Wrong answer. Whacked me with the paddle like 7 times. I'm crying. That shit hurt. Duh. So he says again, why was you late? Bus. Whack. Why was you late? Bus. Whack. Why was you late? Bus. Whack. Over and over again. And that went on for about 2 to 3 hours. And like at the third, honestly, after the second hour, I was like, damn, I'm just caved. But I was like, no, that's not what happened. I know what happened. That's not what happened. What's bus? So finally, I was like, I am truthfully tired of getting hit. Because at this point, it was the paddle, him hitting me, punching me, slapping me, throwing me on the floor, telling me to get up. Oh, and I am fully unclothed throughout the entirety of this abuse. So I'm butt naked and he's doing all of these things to me over and over the course of 3 hours. Anyways, so I'm butt naked throughout of this entire abuse. He has slapped me, punched me, hit me with the belt he did end up using, and the paddle. And I'm like, this is 3 hours going on. I'm crying so much. I've never cried that much in my life, to this day, and I'm 27 years old now. I have never cried that much in my life. I'm devastated, I'm broken, I'm sad, and I just want it to be over. So he says again, why were you late getting home? And I said, it's because I wanted to talk to the boy. I wanted to see if he might like me back. And like, it was like a full-blown relief when I said it. And I was like, in my head, I was like, thank God, golly, like, I should have been said that 30 minutes in. But no, I shouldn't have said it, actually, because this is what made everything happen. So he was like, was it that hard? See, it wasn't that hard, right? So you guys had sex, right? And I was so dumbfounded. I was like, wait, no, what? No, that's not what happened. I just wanted to talk to him. And he's like, no, you guys had sex, right? That's what happened. That's what took you so long, because you usually get home at this time, but you got home, what, 30 minutes late? So what, it was just a quick nut to him, and then you came home. That's what happened, right? And I was like, that's not what happened. I was like, no, I didn't even talk to him. I was late because of the bus, and I couldn't even finish what I was saying. And he just whacked the fuck out of me with the paddle. And I was just like, wow, that was crazy. How did that escalate in my head? That's all I was thinking. And then now I have like this feeling in my stomach, like I just want to throw up. All I want to do is throw up. I just want to throw up, and I can't. Oh, and by the way, we were home alone because he made myself and all of my siblings go to different schools so that we wouldn't be able to walk to and from school and talk about him behind his back and come up with any plan to try to escape him. So I went to a magnet school in Mid-City, Los Angeles. My younger sister went to a school in downtown LA. My other brother went to a different school in, like, it was downtown LA, but like the other way, on the other side of Miguel Contreras. And my two older brothers, they went to the same school, but Miguel Contreras is so big, it's like several different schools in one. So technically they went to different schools, but yeah. So this is going on. Everyone is not home yet because my school schedule is completely different from theirs because I go to a magnet school. And yeah, so he's sitting there. So y'all had sex. So that's what y'all did. Him and his friend. So this is what happened. You was just talking to him and he said, oh, I got a friend too. So y'all went to the bathroom and y'all had sex. You had sex with both of them. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Like, what did I do? Oops, didn't know that was going to bring up any feelings. I don't really be talking about this shit. But anyway, so I'm just sitting there like, what did I do? Why did I say that? 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 That's all that's repeating in my head over and over and over again. And I'm like, why did I say that? So now I'm angry. I obviously can't show that I'm angry, but I feel stupid for ever allowing him to like beat me into his idea of what happened. But it was already too late. I said it. So I went back to the whole, it was the bus, because I was late because of the bus. It was public transportation. There was construction. There was a whole bunch of stuff. It's public transportation. Doesn't even matter if there was construction. Anything can happen on public transit. Anyway, so that was a story that he told himself that's what happened. So my siblings are starting to come home one by one. My younger sister gets there first, and everybody just goes to the living room doing their homework one by one. Me and him in the room by ourselves still. Mom at work still. This is probably like 4 hours into this whole interrogation. And so he decides to like flip it, and he goes, it's okay. I knew this day would come. I knew that this would happen. I knew you were going to want to be with someone your own age, but it's okay. I'll maybe later I'll be able to teach you some things so that you'll be able to really be with someone else. But all you have to do is just admit it. Just admit that the reason you were late today is because you wanted to go be with somebody your age. And I just dead stares like, for I don't even know how long for real. But I was lost for words. I couldn't talk. So for like a whole hour, he's just lecturing me. Just talking. Yipping, yapping, talking, yapping, yipping, yapping, talking. And now it's like, what? Like 5 hours in, I know as like pretty soon my mom is going to be getting off of work, but we did not have a vehicle because he got it repossessed because he's a hater. And it was my mom's car, so he got it towed, and she wasn't able to ever pay to get it out because he was also financially abusing everybody. Anyway, so she had to also take the bus, and she worked really, really far. Like, we lived in South Park, like close to downtown LA, and she worked all the way at like the Grove. So I don't know how many buses she got to take, but it was a lot of buses. So I'm trying to clock the time on I don't remember where. I don't know. I was trying to with the sun. Like I was telling the time with the sun. I just know it was so many hours because when I went in there it was 4:40 something, and by the time all this was over, it was probably like 11-12 at night. So I'm thinking, you know what? I don't have no more words. I didn't talk no more. So he came up with his own story. And his story was, I was late because I had sex with two boys my age in the bathroom. And they finished quick. And I was able to get home only by being 30 minutes late. That was the story that he came up with in his mind. So he goes, how are we going to tell your mom? How are we going to tell her? You know she's going to be sad. She's going to be devastated. How do you think we're going to break this to her? And I said, I'm not telling her. I'm not telling her that. I shouldn't have said that. So he beat me up again. And my mom finally gets home. And I'm like, she's about to save me. She's about to save me. There's no way that both of them is gonna, And he was physically abusing her as well, financially abusing her, sexually abused her as well. I was just like the main course for him. But whenever I wasn't there, which is at school, or if she was off or whatever, then it'll flip between, right? He was dead ass in a relationship with both of us in his mind, and I was a side chick and she was his main that he absolutely hated and despised, but I was his savior and I made everything easy for him. So she gets home and he goes to her for, obviously I'm not gonna leave the room. He didn't tell me I could leave the room, so he goes to her and he's like, your daughter has something to say, your daughter has something to tell you, and I don't know how she's gonna tell you, but she'll tell you. And then I just hear my mom just sighing. Like, who wants to be working and then come home to this, right? So the door finally opens again, probably after 15-20 minutes, and it's both of them. He's sitting on the bed and she's standing up, and she's like, what do you have to say? What happened? What do you have to say? What do you have to say? I'm going to assume that they went to the room together and he told her the story that he came up with in his mind, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I said, and I guess that just, I was not talking fast enough. I wasn't talking fast enough. And so what my do? Because she went based off of what he said, and she's already upset. She's just like, bro, I got you in this magnet school, and I'm teaching you and telling you what you should and shouldn't do. I had a kid at an early age. I don't want you to do the same thing. That's what was going on in her mind, is what I found out a year later when we finally actually talked about it and what really happened, right? She beat me. I mean, she whipped me too. And I was just, I just took it. I was like, whatever, bro. You gonna think what you think. at this point, I don't care. I care, but what am I to do, right? He got to you first, and there was nothing I could do. So, like, when she was done, at one point he had his back turned towards me, and he was talking to her like, what do we have to do? What do we have to do? What should we do about this? What should we do about her? She went to school by herself, and this is what she does. This is how she thanks us for all the things that we've done. This is how she thanks us. So his back is to me, and when my mom whooped me, it was not like I was clothed. I had clothes on. I was finally able to put them on. Like, I knew he probably thought, oh, she's going to be home soon. That's going to be weird if she has her clothes off. So I was able to put my clothes on. But anyway, so his back is to me, and I'm just looking at my mom, and I'm going, like, over and over again. And then, like, she kind of looked at me, and then I guess he saw her facial expression, and he, like, turned around, and he was like, what should we do? What should we do? To me. And then he looked at her, what should we do, babe? And I'm like, this is not happening. Like, I just thought I was in a really bad dream. And I was like, at some point I'm going to wake up. Like, I'm like, okay, while I'm getting hit, I'm going to wake up. No, that shit was real, unfortunately. And yeah, it was real. So she was like, you know, I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, and she's still mad. Like, all she sees is like me saying that behind his back, and she's like, what? So she goes, let me talk to her by myself. Let me just talk to her by myself. I'm her mom, and I want to know like what was going through her head. So he goes, okay, you guys just call me in here when you need me again. So he finally leaves out, and I'm like trying to talk as quiet as I can. If you know me, you know I can whisper really well, and that's because of the times that I had to talk really, really quiet so that he wouldn't hear. Anyway, so he finally leaves out, and she's like, what are you talking about? What? I can't read your lips that good. So I'm like, I'm whispering at this time, and I'm like, that's not what happened. I was late home today because of the bus, and there was construction there was construction by my school. And she was like, that makes no sense. You was late an hour and a half. So what were you doing in that time for an hour and a half? I know the bus did not make you late. That did not make you that late. And I was like, that's not true. I was 30 minutes late, and I don't even think it was a full 30 minutes. And I was not as articulate as I am now, so I wasn't saying it like that. But I was saying like I was explaining what actually happened, and I'm like, that's not what happened, bro. So as I'm telling her, I can see like her eyes kind of like gloss over, and her face just fell. And I like seeing her reaction, her outward reaction, I start feeling bad, because I'm like all of that was going on for hours, and I don't know how to explain this, but it started feeling like the truth was a lie. And I felt so bad, and I started to feel like, am I lying to her? But like, there was a part of my brain, I don't know, the part that protects me, thank you, girly, like, she was not going for it. She was like, no, that's the truth. In my brain was like, that's the truth, so keep telling the truth. So I'm telling her, I'm saying it over and over again, and she was like, okay, I believe you. And then she like, I see like she wants to cry, but she doesn't, because he's gonna have to come in here, and if he sees her crying, then that's gonna be her ass, Mr. Postman. So she was like, okay, I believe you. And like, all I could do, I was relieved, but I didn't know what else was about to happen. So she was like, well, like, you already beat up. I don't really know what else you could do. So I just tell him to come in here, and I'll tell him that we had a talk and that you're gonna do better. So called him in there. That's what we was gonna do. And he goes, well, I'm glad you guys were able to talk. Well, we could just go to the school tomorrow, and I'll go talk to the teachers and just make sure that they know that she has to, be watched and all this, and, trying to play the super dad, whatever. All I knew is I was ready to go to sleep. I was tired. I was exhausted, body, mind, all that. I was tired. So as tired as I was, I don't even think I slept that night. because all I know is that he was going up to my school the next day to lie. So fast forward, we get to the school. I'm gonna try to make this a long story short, this part. Basically, he went up there, he told them that I was raped by those two boys that he made up in his head. Well, the one boy was real, and then he made up a second boy, but because that one boy was like so low-key popular, they was like, oh, it must be his what is it? His best friend, whatever. So he told him, yep, that's his name. Said both of their names, and said that they raped me in the bathroom. And I was like, what? Like, and I did not know what to say. I did not know what to do. All of it was just absurd. All of it, each and every last part of that was absurd. And I was just sitting there like, this is not happening. And you would think, oh, my daughter got raped at a school, so let me check her out. Wrong. He did not check me out. He allowed me, and he kept me in that school for 2 more months, I believe. And the whole thing spread around the school. Everybody hated me. My teeth were really messed up, so everybody was talking about my teeth, talking about me, calling me dirty, calling me a liar. One of the boys absolutely hated me, rightfully so, because all you know is this is the girl that lied on you, even though that's not what happened. He lied. He went up there and he lied, and he dismantled everything for me at that school. I had a lot going on for me. I was able to transfer to that school because I was gifted and smart. I just wanted to get out of that house, so I was trying everything in my power to like be smart to get scholarships and stuff, and he ruined everything for me at that school. Again, he kept me at that school. Everybody hated me. One of the boys super hated me. One of the other boys was just like, it's cool, because I did eventually was able to finally get close to them and apologize to them and try to explain to them. And while I'm explaining to them, I'm like, oh, this sounds crazy. This sounds all made up. And the boy that I really like, everyone knew that I liked him before any of this went on. So to them, they thought that I just basically like made it all up so that he could like me, or I don't know. We were little kids. I don't know what their brain process was. The boy's friend really wanted to fight me, and as weak as I was, getting beat by that grown-ass man, I was like, that's going to be the only person whooping my ass. So I didn't want to fight her because I didn't want to fight her, but I would have fought her. I don't remember us ever fighting, but I know that everyone hated me. It was very uncomfortable for me to be at that school. A lot of the teachers were like, just stay. Well, not a lot. It was like one teacher that was very nice to me after all of that came out, very patient with me, and he allowed me to stay in his classroom at times and all that. But all of the other teachers like kind of clicked up, and even the teachers didn't like me. And it could have also been a projection. It probably wasn't even the whole school hated me type, but it was a lot of people that hated me at once. Yeah, everybody hated me all at once. My mom did not know any of this was going on, like school-wise, until the 2 months, like when it hit 2 months, when I finally was just like breaking down at home. I was crying like all the time. And as soon as she found out, she was like, what? And she checked me out of the school. She didn't force me to go back there. And I was able to go to finish school at the same school as my younger sister. And I was able to culminate 8th grade from there. And she was finally away from him by the time I culminated. And yeah, that is a story time about being in a relationship with my mom's ex-husband at the same time as her. And he treated me as a side chick. If you want to know more, let me know. And
all right, what it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Now, she took a long time to get to that subject or to what happened, but I think she explains a little bit more in like this questionnaire.
Okay, sorry for taking so long to do this video. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for all the emotions I didn't realize I still had. So I'll start, what is his name? And I have the questions here, so that's why I'm gonna be going back and forth. His name is Derek Vondre Gibson Sr. He does not use the senior. So if you ever see him, well, the social media that I know that he had was Facebook and Instagram. I never knew his Instagram name. Facebook, he was DVG. He goes by the name Honest. Debo and DG, and he, last to my knowledge, he lives in Compton, California. After my mom left him and got us away from him, he was able to assault and hurt 2 other families. Nobody believed us, and the women that he was with, my mom did try to warn them and tell them, hey, he's not right in the head, and they just thought she was a bitter ex. So she stopped trying to help other women who decided to date him after we had told multiple people in the community he did. When did my mom, or how did my mom find out? In this instance, my mom just had an assumption. She asked me, is he doing anything to you? And I said no. I was terrified. I didn't know what she was going to be able to do for me if I told her that he was. Honestly, I'm just going to be honest. They were together for 16 years. This is another asked question. I don't think I have it on here, but at the time he was 28 years old and she's 4 years older than him. So yeah, do that math. I really suck at math. Anyway, she asked me, I told her no multiple times. In that, like, she asked me that one time, and in that like hour talk, I just kept saying no. But it was like a hesitant no, and I assumed like she's like, okay, yeah, something happened. So about 3 months after that, she came home. She served him, well, she didn't serve it, my god sister served him with a restraining order, and the police came with the police escort, and they got him out of the house. They told us that we shouldn't stay at the house for that night, which we ended up not doing, because he was standing down the street yelling, my wife, please come outside. I just want to talk about this, please. My wife, please. I just want to talk about this. We called the police multiple times. This was Rampart Police Station Department, actually. We called them multiple times, and they said there was nothing that they could do about it and told us to just leave. He was financially abusing us, so there was no way for us to just leave, but my mom made a way. I don't know how she got any money. I don't know how she made something out of nothing, but she did. And we all got out of there. I have 7 other siblings at this time. We were all younger. Of course, I was 13 years old. I have a sister right under me. She was 12. I have a brother right under her. He was 11. And then we kind of like trickled down like that. My oldest brother, this was another question. Do I have older siblings? I do have older siblings. I have 2 older brothers. One of them, he lived with our grandparents the longest. He didn't come back around until he was around 16 years old. And this was the last like year of that man being in our life actively. He was so strong. He's not the same person anymore. I can't say that he's the same person anymore, but he was exactly who we needed at that time. And yeah, he anytime anything would happen in front of him, he fought back for us. He fought against him, and I admired him so much. He's been, lost in the sauce these last few years. I wish I could get that brother back, but I'm glad that I was able to experience that part of my brother, so we did try to fight. We did. At certain times, it's just one person. It's difficult to fight a monster, and it's only you. And sometimes we will band together, but he was just so he mentally crippled all of us in different ways. Someone asked, did he do anything like sexually abuse my siblings? That's not my story to tell. If they ever feel comfortable to tell their story, I will support them 100%. To my knowledge, though, no. But again, that's not my story to tell. What did she do when she found out? She got us out. She didn't I didn't ever confirm that he ever did anything to me until I was 16 years old, after watching a movie called Speak with Kristen Stewart in it. And she went through something, and she finally got the courage to go unmute and tell her mom at the end of the movie. And it just it pushed me to tell her. And while I told her, she looked devastated, I did not go into depth about the things that he said to me. I am definitely traumatized. People ask if I have PTSD. I have never been diagnosed. I was in therapy for a year, and they recommended that I go to a psychiatrist, but I just don't have the funds for it. I didn't even have the funds for the therapy, if I'm being honest. So I just stopped going. And what I learned in that year of therapy, I try to utilize it every day. How did my mom support me, and how was our relationship? I think that's one of the questions right there. I don't know. Our relationship is great now. Then honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't harbor any resentment for my mom immediately after. Even in that instance, I was not mad at her. She did what she needed to do, because if she would have been, outwardly supportive of me, he would have made her life a living hell, and somehow it would have been also my siblings' fault, and I would have felt horrible, because now everybody in the whole house is getting tormented because of something that I did, quote unquote. What made her finally leave him? I really think that. And she didn't go out without a fight. He had just got a new tattoo, his first tattoo. It was a lion. And she had a what is it called, the comb that you part with, and it was a silver tip. Fresh first day, I think he just got the tattoo finished like 20 minutes before, and he showed her the tattoo, and I don't remember exactly what led up to it, but she took that comb and she drove it in his arm like multiple times, over and over and over and over and over again. He wanted to go get the tattoo by himself. So he said, when he was leaving, he told me to get ready to go with him. I didn't want to go with him, but I had no choice. So she was like, "You're not going anywhere with my daughter." And he was like, "Man, I don't care. I'll blah 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 blah." And she was like, "I don't care. If she's going, I'm going." So she went with us, thank God. And we sat in the car the whole time. He came out. I don't remember what led up to that specific thing. It was probably just a master plan. Stabbed him in the arm, and then we tried to leave in the car, and he called the police. How old is she? Well, she's 4 years older than him. So, have I confronted? I have thought about the many ways that I can confront this man. Only thing I got for him is I hope I got my docs on, because I would try to kick a hole through his chest. I'm strong now. I'm not weak anymore. And I don't frequent Compton like that for real. But hey, was I actually in a relationship with my mom's husband? No, I was not. That was not a consensual relationship. That was just a little thing that I said so that you guys could watch the video. I was not in a consensual relationship with that man. In his head, I was his wife, and that's what he thought it was. He thought we was in a relationship. I think, why did I go to the police? Okay, the video. I did go to the police 3 separate times. When I was 16 years old, when I was 18 years old, and when I was 19 years old. Each time they said, "There's nothing we can do, ma'am. Sorry about that." We tried Rampart, because this is where it happened. We tried Los Angeles Police Department 2 times. And the only thing that came of it is they wrote it up and they said, "Oh, okay, well, we'll keep it logged. If he reoffends or anything like that, we'll give you a call." Never got a call. We got detectives' cards and stuff. We'll call them, follow up, nothing. So, yep, there's that.
All right, so there you have it, man. I bet they tearing his ass up on social media, because they actually did find his social media. I've never been a stepchild, or I've never had, my mother and father was together forever. So, and I didn't grow up watching abuse. So, but not in my house. Now, I did see abuse through different outlets. Hell, I watched Ike and Tina Turner, and I knew right then. I was like, that was shocking, because when watching Ike and Tina Turner, I had never seen that in my home. So that was just like, and I think I was maybe 10 or 11 when What's Love Got to Do With It came out. So it was kind of like, oh, I see why Mom and them didn't ever want us to watch this movie. So, as I say, we were sheltered. We were sneaky little kids. So we did what we want to. Like, my mom and them will rent a VHS and expect us not to sneak and watch it. Like, we got a whole VCR from a crackhead and hid it under the bed so we can watch movies in our room because we wasn't allowed to. Like, we wasn't even allowed to listen to rap music. I remember my dad broke a DMX CD because he said, what these bitches want from a nigga. My daddy came, what is that? Crack. No more DMX. So yeah, that's the type. He wasn't abusive. He didn't allow that stuff. It wasn't until they started going, my dad started working late, and he was broke. He had to work 2 jobs, and my mom worked a job, and she watched us. It was 4 or 5 of us in the house at different times, and then we would go outside. I go outside. That's where I seen, abusive relationships. You know what I'm saying? People who've been sexually assaulted and things of that nature. So it was there. Then I noticed, I see people that I know and respected beating up on their girlfriends, and they be like, "You gotta check a bitch." I be like, "Nick, what? That's not." Me in my mind, I'm like, I ain't never seen my daddy have to check a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was never a thing. So, yeah. So I'm just listening to her story, and I feel for her, but it's funny because everybody in the neighborhood saw this shit, because everybody in our neighborhood saw the same stuff going on, and we'd be like, man, old dude's stepdaddy over there whooping on his daughter. We'll see him out there in the yard fighting. Then he'll be out there fighting the mama drunk. Then you'll see him walking to the store. He'll be walking to the store getting him a 40 ounce, and he'll see us outside playing ball. He'll stop and talk to us. What's up, young bloods? This and that. And we like, yeah, what up, man? We not really, but he was like an OG Crip in the neighborhood, and it'd be like, just let him talk and let him ramble, and he'll get the on. He would, but we knew what he was doing at home. Everybody knew. So I don't know what happened to him in that whole situation. They had eventually just disappeared from the block. So, but if she saw me, I'd be like, yeah, we seen that shit. We couldn't do nothing either. But everybody in the hood be seeing that, man. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section.
Everyday people.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as quick as 1 week.